Hey, good morning. It's Saturday, February 5th. Thanks so much for being here today. Going to continue looking at Psalm 27. It's a little windy on the dock this morning. A little windy here, but there should be less wind distraction. So the live oak and the Spanish moss will have to do as a substitute, which is not a bad substitute for the background. I'm going to continue looking at Psalm 27. And in verses 4, 5, and 6, tell us how we can be at the place of having confidence and hope, of how our hearts can sing a song that will carry us through this mess of life to see the beauty of life and the beauty of the God who orchestrates all of this. Remember in the first verse we talked about how God is our light, our salvation, our strength, our refuge, our stronghold. And then we saw how the enemies are all around us. And they're for real, wanting to tear us apart, literally. Enemies are a part of life. But then David goes back to the beauty and wonder of God. Verse 4, he says this: "One thing I have asked from Yahweh." And Yahweh, by the way, is the Hebrew word for I am God. English translation is Jehovah, so Yahweh and Jehovah mean the same thing. Yahweh is just the Hebrew, best we can do in the Hebrew translation. One thing I have asked from Yahweh, that's what I will seek, that I might dwell in the house of Yahweh all the days of my life, to gaze on the beauty of Yahweh, and to seek out things in his temple. In other words, seek out the things that have to do with God, the wonder of God, that transcends this life and yet intersects this life and gives us hope, because he's there with us. How does God do this? For he will hide me, and notice the language here. I'm using Dale Ralph Davis's translation. For he will hide me in the lair of his day of, in his lair in the day of trouble. Lair is a safe place for animals. It's not just a shelter, but it's a place carved out, hidden in the rock, where they are secure. So he will hide me in his lair, his lair. He will conceal me in the cover of his tent. Notice the graphic images here, tucked away safely in the tent, covered by the tent of God. And then he will lift me up high on a rock. This is God's response to us realizing he is our stronghold and that we have enemies. He will lift us high on a rock. All the desire for self-esteem and affirmation and all that, God gives it to us because it's his purpose. And because of this, in verse 6, and now my head will be high above my enemies. They are all around me. And I will sacrifice in his tent, sacrifices with joyful shouts. And I will sing. Yes, I will make music to Yahweh. See, our confidence in God, of him lifting us up and caring for us, is based upon his enduring faithfulness, which will never be changed. And what does this mean? This means that our hearts respond to the music of God. May God's music, as it says in Colossians, overcome you and me, so that it's what's playing in our heart. Not the music of defeatism or blues or discouragement or escape, but the music of the joy of what it means for our heads to be held high. May your head be held high, my mine, because we are held in the hand of God, secure by him, made righteous by him, given joy by him. That's where our hope comes from. And that needs to resound in music that plays within us. May God reach out and shape the music of your heart to honor him. And that's the thought for this day. Thanks so much for being here, and Lord willing, we'll see you on Monday. You have a great weekend, knowing that you're held high in the hand of God. We'll see you. Bye-bye.